Hi, my name is Leonid. I'm sorry that I have to talk to you today. I understand you probably had a little bit of data failure. Well, the good news is that we can help you, and I'm going to tell you how. In the last few days, I've successfully recovered quite a few crashed hard disks. I'll just show them to you. 1, 2, 3. So there's 3 hard disks there. There's another 4. Here's a laptop disk. And external drives are also not immune. The point is, hard disks fail. It's not a question of if, it's a question of when. They have a very well-defined period of life. And later on I'll go into a little bit of detail how you can detect if your hard disk is about to die on you anyway. So let's talk a little bit about my workflow. You will visit my office, you'll bring your equipment with you, be it laptop or desktop. Please do not attempt to extract the hard disk from your laptop. They are usually held in place with really tiny screws, so for one thing you probably don't have the equipment for that, and secondly those screws are usually tied down with a very high torque. So you need a toy like this, which is a high torque precision screwdriver, to extract them. And this particular toy allows me to do this without stripping any screws, which is quite phenomenal in my line of work. Once we extract your disk, we'll figure out what replacement disk we're gonna get for you, because you will need a replacement disk, and most likely we'll also do an upgrade as well. So for example, if you brought me a 100 gig disk, I'll upgrade you to about 500 gigs, or if you brought me a 30 gig laptop disk, I'll upgrade you to 120 gigs. And we'll also, whenever possible, go up to the next level of performance. So for example, if your laptop disk is 5400 RPM or God forbid 4200 RPM, we'll go to 7200 RPM. That's gonna give you much better performance. So you kill 2 birds with 1 stone. If the disk is only slightly damaged and you know which data you want, I can usually give you that data on the spot. I can give you the contents of my documents, for example. I don't care if they have any passwords or anything. We don't get affected by that all that much. If the disk is in okay shape, what we'll usually do is we'll clone the disk and put it on a new disk hardware and give you the disk back in such a shape like it never happened. In fact, in some instances my clients ask me, so did you do anything over this weekend? And the answer is yes, I did. I've upgraded your system to about 5 times the performance. Thanks for not noticing it. If the file system is beyond repair, I can still usually get the data from it, but these files may be lacking the original file names, and I'll go into that in more detail in just a little bit. I do have a verifiable track record of approximately 14 years of information technology experience, which means I tend to know just about everything. I'm one of the best computer experts in the world at this day and age. I know Windows, NetWare, Solaris, Linux, you name it, I've done it all. I never work on the original disk. Once we clone your disk, we put it away, just like I showed you, and we work only with our digital copy of that disk. If a data recovery tells you they don't have to image the disk, run, because that just introduces possibility of further data corruption. And besides, if we fail, you're welcome to take the original disk to another data recovery company. We're not going to make it worse. You probably noticed that I did not mention anything about class 100 clean rooms, parts replacement. You hear about that all the time. You hear lots of commercials for data recovery companies saying, hey, we have class 100 clean room, we have this, we have electron scanning microscope, we have such and such certification, we have such and such parts. Well, here's the truth. 99.99% of cases do not require any of that. We don't have to open the hard disk. I just showed you all the hard disks which were successfully recovered, but we never had to open those disks. So there you have it. Unlike the rest of my industry, I'm not here to scare you. I'm here to tell you like it is. This is really not that big of a deal. My objective is to deliver a like-it-never-happened experience. In most cases, I'm able to clone a customer's disk and provide the system back in pre-crash condition. Now let's go and talk a little bit about the symptoms of a crashed hard disk, because you may have more than one disk failure and you may not even realize it. The system is ridiculously slow. For example, this baby over here, customer brings me a laptop that takes 20 minutes to boot and asks me if it has a virus. I say no, it might have a virus, but it definitely has a crashed hard disk. So we replaced the data and we put in a new disk. It took about 6 hours, just because of a couple of complications. In another case, the customer calls me up and says that his Windows laptop no longer boots and it's asking for some mysterious file acpi.cs. I diagnosed it as a failing hard disk. I cloned the disk, I put in a new disk, I've actually enlarged the system partition. That wasn't enough. We also had to fix Windows. Bottom line, it works fine, like it never happened. Then I had a customer with a file server running Linux that had a RAID 5 disk array die, and he calls Dell and Dell says, "Sir, server can't help you." He calls me up, I said, "Sure, we'll help you." Second time for that server. Some people never learn. It took 6 hours, but we rebuilt the partition table, we rebuilt the Linux boot sector, we rebuilt the Linux kernel. Bottom line, it works fine. Then a customer brings me a web server, and this web server, normally web servers is not a big deal because the database is stored on a different server, and so you can literally just reinstall the system and not lose anything. This one had a legacy application that no one knew how to work, how to use, no one knew how to configure, and it was a critical application. It was costing them a lot of money to have it offline. It actually took us 2 days to image that system. It was such a terrible shape. But we did it, and we rebuilt the corrupt configuration file. It was kind of cool. Then this customer brings me another disk, and I'll find this disk in a moment. Well, here's one disk. This one's from a customer who had to recover some priceless family pictures. The disk was in such a terrible shape that it took us 2 full days to image it, and about 72 elapsed hours total. But we were able to recover some stuff from it. A few images, 11,000 of them to be precise. I'm not immune to this either. I'm a photographer. I use a compact flash card in my Canon Rebel Digital XT, and I overwrote my own pictures. That wasn't good. Fortunately, I'm a data recovery expert, so I was able to get my pictures back very, very quickly. But shows you that I'm not immune to this either. Now let's talk a little bit about the special offer that I have in mind for you. Ordinarily, for me to come to your office and do all this on site would cost you upwards of $600. I bill about $150 per hour. But if you bring your equipment to me, to my office here in Castro Valley, and you pick it up next day, in other words, saving me all this travel headache, I'll just do this for you for $200, flat rate. That's it. Overnight. Yes, overnight. I don't offer multiple tiers of service. It's not worth it. You want your data back as fast as possible. Everyone else will charge you a lot more, do a lot less. What do I mean by that? I'm expert in Exchange. I'm expert in Microsoft SQL Server, Windows Server, all that fun stuff. So if we need to reintegrate the data, I can do this for you. I'll just charge you a normal hourly fee, do it at your office, but your server will be back online and like it never happened, to the extent that it's possible. So there you have it. Everyone else will charge you, let's see, $600. Drive servers will charge you $1,600. They'll do all sorts of evaluation processes. It'll take forever. Why do you want to wait? Call me right now. I don't care if it's day or night. It's 510-282-1008. Once again, it's 510-282-1008. I'll pick it up. I'll talk to you. I'm not a salesperson, I'm an actual tech.